Your broker isn't reading your mind, it's reading your order type. So if you pick market, limit, stop, stop limit, or trailing stop without knowing what each one actually is telling the app to do, the trade can go wrong even when the app works perfectly. And that applies whether you're buying shares, you're trading options, or you're doing both. The order type is the instruction. The stock or option is just what you're applying it to. But options usually punish sloppy instructions faster, especially with market orders, wide spreads, and stops. We'll go through all 5 one at a time. For this video, I'm going to use simple examples. Let's say a stock is trading around 50 bucks. Nothing fancy, just a stock around $50, and you're deciding what order type to use. Let's start with one of the ones you're likely to use the most, the market order. A market order means get me in or out now. If the stock is trading around $50 and you place a market buy order, you're telling the broker, buy it at the best price available right now. With a very liquid stock, that may feel almost instant. But market order doesn't mean buy this stock at exactly $50. It means buy this stock at the best available price when my order gets there. That price could be $50. It could be $50.03. It could be $50.20. And in a fast moving stock, a low volume stock, or a stock with a wide spread, the difference can be a lot larger than you expected. With options, this gets even more important. A stock might have a bid and ask only a penny apart, but an option contract might look like this. A bid $1.20, ask $1.60. That's a big gap. If you place a market order on that option, you're basically telling the app, fill me now. And the app may do exactly that, just at a price you don't like. So simply put, market orders, speed first, price second. That doesn't make market orders bad. It means you're choosing speed over price control. If you absolutely need to get out, speed may be what you want. If you're trying to control your entry or your exit price, especially on options, market order may not be the right tool for you all the time. Next, we have the limit order. A limit order means only fill me at this price or better. Let's say the stock is around $50, but you don't want to chase it. You place a buy limit order at $49. You're telling the broker, only buy this stock if I can get it for $49 or less. If the price drops to $49 and sellers are available, you may get filled. If the stock never comes down to your price, you might not get filled at all. And that's the trade-off. A limit order gives you price control. It doesn't guarantee the trade happens. The same thing on the sell side. If you own the stock and you place a sell limit at $55, you're saying only sell my shares for $55 or higher. If price reaches that area and there's enough demand, you might sell. If it never reaches that level, nothing happens. This is why limit orders are so common with options. If an option contract has a bid of $1.20 and an ask of $1.60, you probably don't want to blindly accept whatever price they have sitting there in the app. A limit order lets you decide the most you're willing to pay or the least you're willing to accept. You might not get filled, but at least you're not handing the app a blank check. Just remember, price control does have a cost. If you're using the limit order to exit a stock or an option and the market moves away from your limit price, you might not get out. So if that position keeps on dropping, you could still be sitting there with a bigger loss than you planned. Bottom line, limit order, price first, fill second. Limit orders are useful when you don't want to overpay on an entry and you don't want to undersell on an exit. Just don't confuse I placed a limit order with I'm definitely getting filled. The market still has to come to your price and there has to be enough viable volume to fill it. So far, we have 2 basic choices. Market order says, get me in or out now. A limit order says, only fill me at my price or better. Market gives you speed, limit gives you control. Now, let's move into orders that usually wait before they do anything. That's where stops come in. A stop order means don't do anything yet. If the price reaches this level, then trigger the order. Let's say you bought the stock at $50. You place a sell stop at $45. That's you telling the broker, if the stock drops to $45, trigger a sell order. The key is what happens after the trigger. A regular sell stop usually becomes a market order once it's triggered. So if the stock slowly trades down to $45, your fill may be close to $45. But if the stock drops fast, if it gaps down, or if it moves through your stop, your actual fill could be lower. maybe $44.80, maybe $44, maybe worse in a fast market. The stop price is the trigger. It's not a guaranteed exit price. For options traders, stops can be even trickier. A stock on an option is usually based on the option's contract price, not just the stock chart you're watching. The option price can move because the stock moved. It can move because of volatility or how much time is left on the contract. And on most brokers, an option stop won't even trigger outside of regular trading hours. So an overnight gap hits a contract differently than it's going to hit a stock. So you might be staring at your chart thinking, why in the world did that trigger? But the order was watching the option contract, not just your opinion on that stock chart. So in simple terms, stop order, trigger first, market order after. A stop can keep you from staring at your screen all day, but it doesn't remove the risk. It tells the broker when to act. It doesn't promise the exact price that you'll be able to get out at. Now, stop limit. A stop order and a stop limit order sound almost the same, but they behave differently after they trigger. A stop order says, once my stop price hits, send a market order. A stop limit says, once my stop price hits, send a limit order. Let's use that same example. You bought the stock at $50, you set a stop price at $45, and you set a limit price at $44.50. You're telling the broker, if the stock drops to $45, try to sell, but don't sell for less than $44.50. That gives you more price control, but if the stock falls too fast and skips past your limit, your order might not fill. So instead of selling lower than you wanted, you may still be in position while the stock keeps on dropping. So more control, same old catch. A regular stop order has a better chance of getting you out, but the price can slip. A stop limit order gives you more control over your minimum price, but you might not be able to get out at all. With options, of course, this can show up even faster. If the option spread is wide or if the contract is thinly traded, your stop limit may trigger but still not fill. That doesn't mean your app's broke. It means the limit price, it didn't match where buyers or sellers actually were. Here's how this can catch people off guard. Let's say a stock closes at $50 and you have a regular stop loss at $45. Then bad news comes out overnight and the stock opens the next morning at $40. Sorry, but your stop didn't magically sell at $45 while the market was closed. Once trading opens and your stop is triggered, it may sell near the available market price, and that could be $40. And a quick note, some stocks trade after hours and broker rules can vary, but the point is your stop price is the trigger. It's not a price promise. Now let's say you used a stop limit instead. Stop at $45, limit at $44.50, and the stock opens at $40. Your stop may trigger, but your limit says don't sell below $44.50. So the order may not fill. Now let's talk about trailing stops. A trailing stop is basically a stop that moves with the trade when the trade starts to move in your favor. Let's say you buy that stock at $50. You set a trailing stop of $5. If a stock goes up to $55, your trailing stop trails behind by $5. So your stop would move up around $50. If the stock goes up to $60, the trailing stop moves up again, now around $55. But if the stock starts falling from $60, the stop doesn't keep moving down with it. It stays at that trail level that you set. And if the price drops enough to hit the trailing stop, the order will trigger. So the net effect, trailing stop, follow the move, then trigger if price pulls back. A trailing stop could be useful when you want to give a winning trade some room, but you don't want to give your whole move back. But the distance matters. If your trailing stop is too tight, normal price movement can knock you out real fast. A stock moving from $50 to $52, then dipping back to $51 might be totally normal. But if your trailing stop is too close, you could be out before the trade has any real time to work. Trailing stops can also work differently depending on the broker and on your order type. Some trailing stops trigger market orders. Some platforms may offer trailing stop limits, so don't assume. Actually check the broker or the app that you use to see how they work. And for options, as always, be even more careful. A trailing stop that looks reasonable on a stock may be way too tight on an option. So the simple version, trailing stop helps you avoid manually moving your stop over and over again, but you still need to give it some room. So before we wrap up, 3 mistakes worth flagging. First, treating the order type as the whole plan. An order type is just a tool. It won't tell you where to enter or where to exit. It won't tell you how much to risk or whether the trade makes sense. Second, reaching for a stop limit when what you actually need is speed. If the floor is falling out from under the position, a regular stop will fight to get you out. A stop limit will fight to protect your price, and sometimes that means it doesn't get you out at all. Third, setting a trailing stop too tight. Normal price chatter can shake you out of a trade that was working just fine, especially on options where swings are bigger to begin with. Don't start with the name. Start with the instruction. Speed, that's market. Price control, that's limit. Trigger later, that's stop. Trigger later, but with a price rule, that's stop limit. A stop that moves with your trade, that's a trailing stop. So whether you're buying shares or you're trading options, the order type is the instruction. Slow down for a second and ask, what am I actually telling my app to do? Because the app might follow your instruction perfectly, even if it's not what you meant. See you on the next one.